Sometimes I wonder, if Sam has a flock of sheep, then there must be a farm that owns them, right? So the question remains, does the farmer know where the sheep are? Like, is he just super paranoid and has a schedule of where the sheep go every day? Like, oh, it's Wednesday, so the sheep must be in the Himalayas or some shit. Or does Sam just, like, take them wherever he wants, and every morning the farmer's just like, oh, where the hell that son of a bitch take them this time? Now, you may think this cannonball is actually for that cannon over there. You would be mistaken. A concept like that makes way too much sense for this game. Instead, we just needed to move it slightly. Now, to address the cannon in the room, I guess I'll just explain why there's a cannon in the room. I was going to go into how the cannon is like a throwback to blowing up Daffy in the first level, but in all honesty, I'm really just a crappy shot, and I wanted to distract from the cuts I just made. You may have noticed that one of our items actually dropped onto the other side of the swamp lake thing. Now, if I've learned anything from Crash Bandicoot, it's that breaking boxes get you gems, and some reptiles have bouncing bellies. Luckily, one of those translates over to this game.
Get a load of this! You can hang an object onto the end of the fishing line using the Combine feature in your inventory. Just select the fishing rod, then press Combine, and choose the objects you want to string onto the end of the hook. If you want to unhook the object, select Fishing Rod, then press Dissociate.
You may have noticed two things about this game. One, Daffy seems to ignore his own subtitles. And two, this is one of those games where, like, if a new mechanic is presented, that mechanic is going to be used to death in that level. It's like in a Zelda game. Let's say you got, say, the hook shot in a temple. You'd best be prepared to use the crap out of that damn hook shot for the next hour. In our case, Daffy just told us that we can use the fishing rod to attach things to. This is going to be used extensively in this level, attached to things like lettuce, or magnets with other shit attached to it, like this cannonball. Unfortunately, it also means diving into the inventory screen quite a bit. You're going to notice how the magnet fishing pole thing works with the bombs coming up. It grabs them, sure, but it also detonates them. For a while, I was using it to try and move that other bomb over there to the rocks nearby it, like doing it in small parts using the fishing rod. Eventually I just stopped being dumb and did this. It's a ton easier, and now all I have to do is go back up top and then use the magnet fishing rod thing to detonate the bomb. And with that out of our way, here's our bonus. Now we have lettuce, we have a sheep, we have a button, and we have our new mechanic. So the next while is going to involve dangling food in front of the sheep's faces for a while. You know, you'd think at some point Sam would start surveying the area for lettuce to get rid of, but I guess doing that would be a little hard to do, seeing as though all the lettuce seems to just regenerate indefinitely. You'd think he'd at least like keep watch on it or something. Now for your benefit, I just cut out a bit of that luring through the doorway there. I don't know why, but for some reason the camera goes full-blown stupid in that corner. You've no doubt noticed the cracked tiles, which are obvious video game speak for you can't carry the sheep over here, so we're gonna have to entice the sheep on our own. Come on, sheepy. Let us be friends. Now, this is gonna bring us to the second mechanic for this level, and that would be these platforms and the conveyor belt things. Actually, I'm not so sure they should be called conveyor belts. They don't exactly transport things. Treadmills, I guess? Anyway, These treadmills can be operated by anyone. It's Ralph, the sheep, if you can motivate it enough, with lettuce, shockingly enough, or even the annoying little robot thing. Now, at this point, the rest of the level is going to be using these three entities to move Ralph and the sheep to the end, which, to be honest, is pretty damn boring, so let's just hurry this up. Now, with all this going down, there's going to be a few tricky things to note here. Some of them tricky, some of them just kind of interesting, some of them both. First, speed matters. Now, I'm going to go into this more a little later on, but for now, we'll just keep that in mind. Speed matters. Number 2, direction matters. If your platforms aren't moving, you're probably sending the sheep/robot/Ralph in the wrong direction. And number 3, killing the robot resets its spawn. Quick way to get it right back up there. You don't even have to worry about using a conveyor belt on them. The last of the tricky things is actually in this room right here. You may have seen there's a small platform like halfway through with a button on it. If you're like me, you're gonna think that the idea is to let the sheep get attracted onto it. And that's actually the worst idea ever. What you actually need to do is avoid letting the sheep get onto it at all. Or you'll have to reset the whole section. And that starts about like when you get the sheep all the way up. Now this brings me back to the speed thing. This is actually quite a cool little detail. I wouldn't have thought it was very obvious considering like the limitations of the game or the system or whatever. But take notice of how Ralph moves. He takes these like long strides, and take notice of how the robot would move. He's got that small little wheel. Now, there's a little bit too much detail there, I'll be honest. The point here is Ralph moves much faster than the robot can. Or even the sheep can, really. When moving the sheep across this first gap, speed is necessary, or else that sheep is just going to get attracted onto the button. So if you use the robot, it's not going to go fast enough for the sheep to like not get attracted onto it. He's going to jump off, and because you'll still be moving, he's just going to jump down to the bottom, and you're going to have to reset it. Now, if you use Ralph, he moves much faster. The sheep has no time to get on. This is actually pretty necessary, even mandatory for this whole thing to work. It hung me up originally for so long, I couldn't figure out how to get past this stupid thing. And really, I just thought it was kind of a neat little detail, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Now, you may have remembered me saying that the fishing rod mechanic's going to get used to death in this level. And we did stop using it for a little bit there, but it's going to make one final little appearance here. You may have noticed earlier I positioned that platform back in the middle before I moved on. What we're going to have to do here is use our fishing rod to magnet the robot over, somehow with the magnet not destroying its circuits or anything. Then we're going to have the robot make a pretty shitty jump. I mean, given the camera angles here, it makes all your jumps really paranoid now. And then finally, with that button pressed, all the treadmills are done. We don't have to use the fishing rod anymore. Finally done the level. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.